Generative design looks like something your 3D printer hallucinated after binge-watching Avatar and getting a contact high from an old motherboard. Organic curves, impossible lattices, bone-like branches. It's giving extraterrestrial chic. It's giving xenomorph core. It's giving, are we sure this isn't a prop from Dune? But here's the gag. It works. Like better than the stuff we've been designing for decades. And it's all thanks to artificial intelligence, specifically algorithms that don't care about how weird something looks, only how well it performs. So what even is generative design? It's a design approach where you don't draw a part, you describe it. You give the computer a prompt. I need a part that's this strong, this light, fits in this space, uses this material, and doesn't snap in half when I breathe on it. And then the algorithm says, say less. It spits out 300 options. Some look like a melted bike frame. Some like biomech lace. Some straight up look like Lady Gaga's Met Gala heel, but make it structural. Let's talk facts. In 2018, General Motors used generative design to create a seat bracket that was 40% lighter and 20% stronger than the human design version, and it consolidated 8 parts into one. In aerospace, Airbus used generative design to produce a partition for the A320 that shaved 45% off its weight. That's huge when fuel economy and emissions are on the line. And it's not just about weight. These designs often reduce part count, speed up assembly, and even improve durability. That's the thing. Humans tend to design in straight lines and right angles because we were taught to. Generative design doesn't care about tradition. It cares about topology, stress flow, material reduction, and function first beauty. And sometimes function first looks like a robot alien watched too much Stranger Things and said, Vecna, but make it structural. This is where AI earns her paycheck. She runs more simulations than Netflix pushes bad dating shows. Except this one gives you real structural integrity. And while she's doing that, she's not drawing rectangles. She's creating bone-like structures that mimic evolution. In fact, NASA uses generative design to create parts that mirror biological growth, some of which are literally based on how femurs distribute load. You've probably already used or seen generative design without realizing it. Bike brand Canyon made a 3D printed titanium cockpit that looks like a rib cage, and it passed ISO tests for extreme downhill abuse. Nike has patented midsole structures built using generative algorithms to maximize energy return during running. Even furniture designers and jewelry makers are in on it. Because the aesthetic, iconic. But the engineering, immaculate. Why is this a big deal? Because generative design doesn't just make things lighter, it makes them smarter. It finds material only where it's needed and deletes everything else, which means fewer parts, less waste, more strength per gram. And in industries where every gram counts, like aerospace or motorsports, that's a game changer. Even automotive companies like BMW are using it to reduce emissions before a car even hits the road. Now let's address the obvious. It looks weird. And that weirdness freaks people out. You hand someone a bracket that looks like coral and say, this holds the plane wing. They say, no offense, but I don't trust jellyfish geometry in aerospace. But the tests don't lie. These designs are stronger, lighter, and more fatigue-resistant than human-drawn parts. Why? Because they're not intuitive. They're computational. They're the result of AI running thousands of simulations and iterating without bias or aesthetic ego. Oh, and generative design isn't just for parts. It's now being used to optimize entire city layouts, wind farms, and even interiors. Basically, SimCity if it got a degree in mechanical engineering. AI isn't just creating alien-looking parts. It's designing entire environments with biomechanical elegance. So what's the servo sleigh takeaway? Don't fear the weird. When AI designs a part that looks like it belongs on an alien mothership, don't judge. Validate it, simulate it, then let it cook. Because what looks like cosmic nonsense might be the most efficient thing in the entire galaxy. That's generative design, alien art that slaps. This is servo sleigh, where hardware meets hype, and we let the algorithm cook.